Well, hello everybody. As per my usual end of season review, here's just a reminder from 2022 was Dee's racehorse to riding horse video, and then from 2023, Dee's racehorse to eventer video. I'll link them in the comments if you haven't seen them before, but it basically showcased her progress from learning the complete basics right through to competing in a few BE90 competitions through 2023. Now 2024 was going to be good, but ended up a complete write-off as Dee sustained a puncture injury to her frog in the field, which at first was thought to be a prolapse of the corium of the frog coming through the foot, but was then believed to be canker, which is basically a tumour-like growth right in the frog, and she had to go and get this cut away and removed. And Clyde vets were absolutely fantastic doing this. It actually all happened, the operation, just 2 days before my wedding, I must add, so I was an emotional wreck anyway. We were in Italy, so it was all go, but massive thanks to Pauline, Helen, Shona, Katie, all the girls who helped out while I was away. Dee came back with a plate on her foot. There was constant cleaning, scrubbing, applying antibacterial powder, iodine sprays. I was up there 4 times a day, hosing, walking, cleaning it out. It was such a stress, but so good to see these progress pictures. During which Clyde and my farrier, Devon Crerar, were both fantastic, keeping me going throughout. So Dee, in a full recovery, I'm delighted to say, was worth all the effort because she's come back so well. And this video will show her return to work and then stepping up a level to BE 100 eventing. So August was her coming back into work. I spent a whole month just doing lots of pole work, building her up slowly, lots of hacking. She had been in box rest the entire summer previous, so despite that, did behave super well, despite having her moments.
Yeah, that's a bit better.
In September, there was a wee show just down the road. I thought I'll take her for one ridden horse class. She was such a sweetheart, so nice just to have her back out and about, when at one point I didn't think that would even happen again. She won her class and then went reserve champion at this show, so I was so proud of her, so nice to be back out. I also took some time to teach her some tricks as her brain was so busy and she wasn't in the level of work yet that she really wanted to be in. Her mind was made for much more strenuous things and I was having to slow her down to help her body build up again. So lots of pole work, lots of different games, lots of different exercises just to try and keep her interested really while I was building back up her condition and her strength. Lots of canter work began. We got her to the beach a few times through the water. The hydrotherapy really helped. And then here's the first day that I jumped her again since the previous year. Now, she was so quiet. I really did expect her to be a bit more wild here, but possibly a sign of her growing up. Despite being in such a long period of box rest, she was so mature and so lovely to bring back into work. And then back out at our first event, we took her down to Greenlands for the 100, and she was so chilled this time as well. She really enjoyed herself, she was really bold, she was really keen, but she was really careful and really sensible. So jumped a super couple of rounds indoor and then out onto the cross country, which on first outing since she's been off for so long, she qualified herself for the Bates Arena Eventing Championships way down south at Aston Le Walls in the February. So I wasn't sure yet if I would do that. It was still about building her up, getting her out and about a wee bit, and we would just see how she goes. There was no pressure, but it would be so cool to go and do something like that. Here she was jumping at home just a few weeks later, the biggest I've jumped her, and what a good girl. This then set us up for going out to Morris here, and I decided to enter her for the 100 and then the 110 class, which I was really nervous about but really excited to do. There's not many options to jump that height at unaffiliated level, local to where I am. So this was a great opportunity to push both her and myself and just to see whether we would make a total mess of it or whether we'd be okay. And bless her, I think she had 2 poles down in the 110. Just careless poles, nothing dramatic, nothing terrible. Absolutely so chuffed with her. She jumped really well again, really bold, didn't change as the heights went up. Just still really wanted to get there and do her job, as you can see from this fence, standing off it like that. So yeah, really good girl. I'm just always trying to sit quietly between fences but not let her run on forward. Her landing spot, you'll maybe see, is quite long sometimes, and it's hard not to let her then get away from me. I need to try and sit back quicker when I land, and just get her back together a little bit quicker. But that's something I'm always working on with her. So really good girl, super chuffed with her. She's feeling fit, she's feeling well. We were just getting her out and about to as many things as we could. This was a jump training night, we went back to Morris for her. I'm really just trying to get her brain and her body back into a mindset of work to see if I can set her up for the season ahead of eventing, and really to see if she's going to cope with that. Luckily, because of the type of injury she had, it was like a growth, so it wasn't a tendon or ligament or muscle injury, so there was no weakness there. It is just then building up her normal level of fitness, which was good. It was a better position to be in than had it been an actual injury. So although I was paranoid, especially when she behaves like this, I did have to allow her some turnout. I cannot expect this horse to work at the level I want her to work at and not allow her some time to herself. I was pretty paranoid about the whole thing. I had to bring her in, scrub her feet, dry them up every single time she was out. They couldn't really get wet for prolonged periods, but it was worth it to have her settled. She's a sensitive, hot horse anyway, so she has to have a life out with her pals. So here's a show jumping hire just to try and again prep her for February, which was the Arena Eventing Championships in at Aston Balls. She also then done a wee arena event in February there at Greenfields just to try and set her up, where she also qualified for Ace Championships. So this was a big trip down south, 6 hours down. We hired the fantastic Summerford Park the day before the event, just because I felt as if she hadn't really jumped many solid fences, cross-country tight fences like this. I didn't want her going unprepared and make it a bad experience for her, so we hired this fantastic course and gave her a pop round, and my goodness, was she bold. She jumped everything fantastic first time, was just a superstar, and really got me excited to think what was really in there. The potential and the bravery this horse has is such a pleasure to be on. Like, she's so fantastic. So the Bates Arena Eventing Championships here, she had done the 100 class. She jumped really well. She was a little bit sticky this day over the show jumping fences, and what I did find later is that actually all that travel for her, that seems to be a wee trigger for her shoulders getting tight. I've got the fantastic Katie Dawson shiatsu now that helps her. But yeah, sometimes when she travels really well, but she seems to just, the shuffling of the shoulders, she can sometimes get a little bit tight. And I wasn't really aware of how much that affected her until this trip. This was the furthest away we'd been. So she did have a couple of tight moments, but jumped well. Back home now, we went to Champfleury for the arena event. And then on to Greenfields for her first jump on grass for so long. And my goodness, she was fantastic. She was absolutely buzzing to be back out. But this is all, again, to set her up for a hopeful season of eventing. Our first event in the calendar is Forgandenny, which is the end of April. So this was really in prep of that, having her on grass, making sure she would jump into the water, making sure she was not going to go wild on me when her feet touched that lovely green grass. But she was fantastic, cannot complain. She was feeling super brave, super bold, despite having that entire year doing nothing. She really did come back so mature, which just shows you the break had done her so well. So here she is, Forgandenny, which is her first event for 2 years. And I'm not sure if it was bravery or stupidity, but I did put her in for the BE100s. Although she'd only done BE90s before, she had been arena eventing at 100 all winter since she came back into work, and jumped a bigger class, a 110 as well. So I felt it was unfair to go back to 90. So hey ho, I went for it. Her dressage was lovely. She scored a 36, which I was really proud of. Her dressage obviously has a long way to go, but that was much better than it could sometimes be. But I must say, before the show jumping, I was so nervous. I was nearly crying ringside. I just thought at this point, oh my goodness, I should have given this horse a 90 to start her off. I have done the wrong thing here. I'm not ready for this. She's not ready for this. I think I jumped 2 warm-up fences before I went in because I was so nervous I would mess it up. And anyway, she was fantastic, bless her. She had 1 pole down this day, but jumped everything else so boldly, so keen. Gave me such a good feeling. I came out and then I think I did cry because I was so relieved that it was over, but also so proud of her for going in there and just showing me that she could absolutely do this. It's a walk in the park for her, and it's me that has to just chill. And then on to the cross country, which is fine. I knew I didn't even have to worry about that because no matter what was in front of her, my goodness, she would find the middle of that fence and she would jump it. Such a good feeling to have her out and about. She's just so lovely and loves her job so much. I could not ask any more of her this day. First event back, and she was buzzing. And I was buzzing after it, and then just went home thinking, right, I've got things now that I can work on, but I don't have to worry that she or I are not capable of this. It's just ironing out all the little wee kinks for the next couple of events that we had in mind. It was a great test of fitness, and I don't think this horse will ever feel tired, but she felt super fit. It was just then working on her accuracy and not fighting for that bigger stride between fences, especially show jumping. So here she was at the Greenlands Arena Eventing Championships. This was the Concilio 100 centimetres that she qualified for. She jumped a lovely clear and finished 6th in the final, which was so exciting, especially after a wee moment like this where, bless her, she didn't even lock onto these planks, but still jumped them when she realised last minute what I was asking. So honest. Back home now, just trying to work on that rhythm between the fences, not letting her launch on. As you'll see, she really wants to do all the time, but just trying to get her to that slightly deeper spot. She actually has a really lovely collected canter. You can really bury her to the bottom of a fence, and she always seems to have the strength behind to push up and over. But she gets so forward on her landing spot, which is usually where I'm bad for, as I said before, just letting her get big and then trying to get her back. I'm trying not to adjust the rhythm too much, so really working on trying to get something a bit more consistent to and away from the fences. Oh my goodness, rhythm, why is it so evasive? So here we are at Aintree, which is the ACE Championships. This was by far the most exciting, fantastic championships I've ever been at. We went for the warm-up classes on the Friday, and bless her, she held on to the lead in the 90 class right the way through all the competitors until the very last person, who topped her, which was myself, on my other horse Milo. So it was a first and second in the warm-up class for the both of them. So exciting. And then the championship day, which was the Saturday, both horses jumped extremely well. Sadly, Dee had a pole in each class, which put her out of the very competitive placings, although she felt fantastic. But the other horse, Milo, which I ride, he went and placed third in his class, so he was a wee star. He actually had placed first for the majority of the class as well. It was just the last few people that pushed him down the placings, but both of them were fantastic. Dee actually got that many treats that weekend that she came home the next day and kept doing her tricks for treats, which is pawing and putting the head down. This is her basically demanding more treats because she got so used to it all the weekend. But anyway, it's not always a party day. Back to some dressage work. So really thought, right, I need to focus on the dressage. This is where it's really letting us down. And obviously the dressage and the flat work helps with the jumping, helps with the balance, with the rhythm, with the ability to control and manoeuvre the feet. So very important, and also to try and help Dee relax through her body and use herself, which helped because this was the South of Scotland horse trials, and Dee got a 33 this day, which was by far the best score she's ever had. I think she's had 134 before, but to get a 33 was absolutely fantastic. She felt so nice, super relaxed. The show jumping, the ground was very slodgy, and there was so much rain came down, so I actually retired both horses before we went cross country just to save any injuries. I'd had such a bad previous year with the injury, I just couldn't risk anything happening. Better to save her for another day. So here we were at Oak Ridge, which was the end of June, and again the flat work had all paid off so much. She was feeling much softer through her body, a good bit more rideable. I'd also put her on some natural supplements just to help with her tummy and with her hormones. I think both of these did make a bit of a difference in the way she was feeling about herself as well. She's not a horse that gets stressed about going to an event. She's just hot all the time. So I did feel a big difference from just putting her on those supplements and doing all the extra prep on the flat. A lot more suppling, bending, softening work, varying the paces a wee bit, so she allows me to ride her more. And just lots of fitting work really. The fitter and stronger she is, the easier the work's going to be. So really pleased with her this day again. She scored another lovely 33, so I was getting very excited thinking, right, we're getting down to that 30 mark and further away from the 40 mark, and obviously this is a level higher as well, so I will take anything I can get. Onto the show jumping, this felt like a really big 100, and it was nice because I wasn't nervous for this one as I was jumping at Forgandenny in our first 100. I was quite confident and relaxed here, and so was Dee. She was buzzing to be back out. This really felt so easy for her actually. I remember completing this and just thinking, oh my goodness, this horse has so much left in the tank. She is loving it. Here's our wee video from the jumping as well, and you'll just see ears are pricked the entire time. She's super bold, super forward, really didn't even stop to catch her breath, so really chuffed. And then disaster struck. She came in hopping lame one day, and then it turns out she had sliced the coronary band of her foot with a bit of wire in the field, and it had to all be cut out. So again, it was weeks of keeping it so clean, so dry, walking up the tarmac just to stop sand from going in. And this was her in the end of July, a wee lunge in the field for the first time to see, is this horse ever going to be fit enough, sound enough, well enough for her last event of the season, which was the first ever Schoon Horse Trials. We hired Greenfields after her 2-week box rest, and I thought if she jumped round here sane enough and sensible enough, then I'll take her. If she's an idiot, then we'll put her back in her stable and we'll just go with Milo. But bless her, she was fantastic. Her foot had healed well and she was as ready as she'll ever be to go. So Schoon Horse Trials, the first ever one. What a venue. It was absolutely incredible. And I must say, I was just so chuffed to actually get her there. Her dressage mark was fairly harsh, but she jumped round really well, really seemed to enjoy herself in the show jumping actually. Came out of the ring and the steward said to me, my goodness, I've never seen a horse so happy. and that is what this is all about. Like, I'll do it as long as this horse enjoys herself. That's the main thing, because I love it when she loves it, so can't complain. She jumped around superbly. Especially considering she was in box rest for a few weeks as well, just a couple of weeks previous to this. I really wasn't sure she would have made this event at all. So there's no pressure. I thought I'll just go enjoy the cross country now. The first 3 fences were causing a lot of problems. You'll see here, this is the closest Dee will ever get to a stop. Bless her, she still goes because she's so honest. And after those first few fences, she found her stride. She got braver, bolder, straighter to every fence after. Such a beast of a course for her to fly around. It was incredible. It's so much fun. Every fence I was just going, good girl, well done, and just massive pats here and then when I could. So yeah, buzzing about life. The day after the cross country, we went and done a racehorse class. She actually went really well, but just not to the judges' liking, so didn't place this day. And here's our epidural video from that told you third fence, from the cross country. She was fantastic, cannot complain. For the final event of the season and for as little as she's done these last few years, I cannot complain. She had the end of August and start of September in the fields, just chilling, getting the last of the good summer weather. And she enjoyed her downtime, although she does get bored. You can see here she wants a bit more of an exciting life. So we did start our training for winter dressage. Here she is practising some collected canter, some working canter. The next show I was going to have her at was a little bit more advanced from where we'd normally compete. This was elementary level dressage. And yes, it's a step up from where we're really at the moment, but my thought was if she competes at a level higher than she's used to, she'll find next season's dressage for eventing much easier. So she had to do lots of collected trots, some leg yields, some medium canters, some collected canters, medium trots. She coped really well actually, I was really pleased with her. And then here we were doing a wee show jumping higher as well, just to try and get her to think about just again that same issue of waiting between fences. You can see here she wants to fight, but she's keeping her body on the stride that I'm looking for. So, you know, really coming along. Our first arena event of the season was at Morris. She was fantastic. She ended up winning the 90 and coming second in the 100, so very pleased with her. This both qualified her, I'm sure, for ACE Championships again for next year. So that will be good to look forward to. I actually haven't checked my emails to see if that has come through or if that was the qualifier. But anyway, she was very good. And then here we are from the fantastic C10 photography, who got a reel for us when we were at Aileen Craig's grid work sessions. So really good to go and do this and just get a little bit of grid work with these poles, these bounces, making her way, some angle work here, and then coming down a grid with some V-poles, just to make her actually stop and look slightly, rather than just running down the line. So grid work is really where I'm going to probably be able to help this wee horse for next season. So we're hoping to do a bit more of this. So as much turnout as we can get just now. The weather is against us and I'm still paranoid about her feet. She's still, bless her, she still gets them washed, cleaned and dried every time she's out, so it is quite intense. But oh my goodness, I can't go through that canker again, so we've got to be really careful. We then went to Greenfields just the other weekend there and done their arena event. She jumped down the 90 and the 100. I really do like using this arena eventing to help set her up for her event season, because it's a smaller area. I can use the school to really make her weight, and then obviously we've got our dressage practice through the winter too. So between both of these, I'm really hoping that I can set it up for next year and really see where we can go. I'd love to do another couple of hundreds and just try and get her settled with her dressage. Who knows if I could do a wee slightly bigger class by the end of the year. I'd love to aim for that, but again, there's no pressure. We'll see how she goes. We'll do as much prep as we can through the winter. Fingers crossed for injury free this time, and yeah, we'll see how we go. This dressage has been really good for her. She's actually had some shoulder in this test, collected canter, some simple changes. Oh my goodness, I hate simple. I would rather do a flying change than a simple change. Trying to get those walk strides between the canter is so hard, especially for Dee. And then it was a collected canter, allowing the horse to stretch on a 20-metre circle. All these things are just so good for Dee to have to go out, settle, use herself, relax, and offer these movements. So yeah, between all this, I am really hoping this will all set her up for next season. So it's been another really rewarding year back. I'm so glad she did come back into work this year. I was all set for possibly not competing again. We really didn't know when she was going through all the issues with her feet. But that all seems to have resolved itself. She has been so fit and so bold this year that I would really love to see where I can take her next year, without pressuring, of course, because there's only so much you can fit in. I'm obviously busy with other young horses, clients' horses as well, so Dee doesn't always get as much time as I'd really love to give her, but what she offers and what I'm asking is incredible. I really would not change her for the world. She is so much fun, she's so bold. Yeah, there's loads of things we can work on, and she's absolutely not everybody's cup of tea. But I can't wait to see what we get up to next season. Massive thanks to everyone's help this year, and we'll see you again soon.